to said if I was richer, I'd still be richer. Now ain't that some shit? Ain't that some shit? And although that's pain in my chest, I still wish you the best. Fuck you.
Well, good afternoon. It is Saturday. What is it? Saturday? Let's take a look here. August 23rd, 2025. Yes, this is Mr. Not Advice. This is my weekend update. And as always, this is for entertainment and education purpose only. I think it's a beautiful song, don't you? Yeah, let's listen. I especially like the chorus for this. This one, I'm going to dedicate this song to ENVX. Yeah, I'll talk about it later. Oh, that's a great place to end it. Okay, so we had a hell of a week this week. Lots of things going on. We had, obviously, if we look at Friday, we had Jay Powell came out and just launched the market. And so commentary is that prior to, I was telling my members that I think it was 2 days or night before that it appeared as though that Powell would in fact support a rate cut in September. Whether it's going to be 25 or 50 basis points, we don't know yet. But certainly yesterday you can see that the rate cut odds just screamed higher. I think that what we need to remember is that was the initial reaction. Now we have to wait and see, because if we look at previous rate times they have cut rates, it hasn't always worked out that well. When we look at the 3-day and the this is the S&P return after the first Fed cut. So if we get the first Fed cut in September and we start the clock then, the light blue line says, hey, this is, if we have moderate growth in the economy, this is what the market does 3 years later or 3 months later, plus 5%. Here this is the mean, right? The median on average. And this is if the economy enters a recession within 12 months. Now, obviously, what you have to look at, what I'm looking at is you got about a month and a half after September. Let's see, September, October. And that time's in right for a couple things. End of the Bitcoin cycle is in October. We have the typical October, what do you call it? Volatility in September and October. We get the end of the mutual fund fiscal year in October. We get hopefully the start of the Santa Claus rally shortly thereafter. So what I'm going to be doing is going to, again, continue to be long, and I am aggressively long, but I will have one foot out the door, so to speak. I will continue to scale aggressively. So, but getting back to what happened with Jackson Hole, and I think what we need to look at is, while Powell said he's still focused on inflation, and yes, he gave a nod to jobs. And I do think that when the Bureau of Labor Standards redoes the job numbers for September, I think it's going to show a massive reduction. 500,000 jobs? I don't know. Okay. But I think that will give Powell the cover to cut. I don't know if we'll get a quarter or if we'll get a half a point. We went into Friday with a very weak market. I believed that at that point that the market was selling off in preparation of Powell disappointing the market. So when that then happened, just the fact that he didn't disappoint and he wasn't extremely hawkish, which means he was talking only about inflation, because if that's what he was talking about, then he would be talking about not lowering rates, but perhaps pausing or even raising rates, because that's how you fight inflation. So ultimately, I don't, the market celebrated, everything busted. I'm not quite sure that this will continue to last. I'm always one of those people that says, hey, let's see what happens on Monday, or let's see what happens the next day. So even despite the great bounce on Friday, okay, this is the S&P for the week, but the Mag 7 still ended the week in red. So we need the Mag 7 to lead. And we got NVIDIA coming up this week. So that's going to help or hurt, but I think it will help. Momentum stocks bounced. This is the Goldman Sachs momentum basket, and you can see it bounced right here off the 200-day moving average. In addition, we had short end of the yield curve. So this is the 2-year yields. They are dropping. We haven't been this low since back at the end of April. That's going to help obviously propel the market higher. Lower rates act as quantitative easing, right? Freeing up capital. And so the dollar traded aggressively lower. But then we had gold, interestingly, and I brought this up during my end of the day. Gold rallied back above its 50-day after it found support at its 100. So we do have these declining peaks right here 1, 2, 3, 4. But arguably, we also have the 100-day moving average moving up. And so this right now, I will be adding some gold miners and gold exposure, hopefully on Monday, because I believe that gold will continue to be bought. China will continue to buy if the global geopolitical environment heats up in the next couple of years, which I expect it to, because I think that the plan is and has always been to go into China and attack China. I think gold is going to, I mean, you need gold to pay. Countries need gold to pay for weapons. And so I think gold will remain bid. And I think there'll be maybe a demarcation, final demarcation where gold is that physical store of value and Bitcoin is that digital store of value, which, as you know, I think is bullshit. But and then you'll have the other coins, and we can get into those later. But yeah, so gold looks good. And in addition, let's take a look at, sorry, working with a new platform. So you'll have to forgive me. Here we go. So this is the volatility, the VIX term structure. So remember, we have NVIDIA next week, NVIDIA earnings, the VIX up. And then, of course, it looks like they're expecting the VIX to drop about 11%. Again, who cares? Look, this is 10. So let's call this, oh no, 10. This is 12. All right. 20% rise in the VIX is something, forget it. But it is something that you're going to hear about people, talking about all these experts, holy crap, right? Uh, um, the VIX is rising. Yes, but let's keep it relative, right? What is it relative to? All right, let's look at some charts here. First of all, looking at ESPX. S&P 500 finished the week. Look at this. Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. Here was Friday of last week. Bad day. Here was Monday where we closed. What did we do? All we got, did we get a new all-time closing high? No. All we did was we recovered the entirety of last week's down. We did not include last Friday's down. So am I ready to get, all bonered up to get long? No. Look at the look at the Qs. We're not near the high. Look at Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday, not even close. And in fact, arguably, what we are doing is a simple 50% retrace of Fibonacci levels. So I'm not going to get overly excited about this until I see follow through, as it is with whenever I see these types of moves. This I like. This is TNA. This is the Russell 2000, a 3X. So here's the Russell 2000. And that's a new break. If we look at the monthly, okay, what are we doing? We're breaking from here now into this major channel. It has a shot now to break out. How far are we? Oh my gosh, we're only like 100 points away. 100 points. Pretty darn easy. So yes, I'll be looking long on the Russell, but I will be using the TNA to express that. Let's look at, I got stopped out of Tesla, this piece of crap. You know what? Great big green day. I want nothing to do until we at least get here. Then get me up into this range. This has been an absolute mess, and I've just gotten chewed up on it. Let's see, TQQQ, which is the 3XQs. I'm not ready yet. I'm waiting for that break. TLT, I am also not ready to do a TLT, waiting for up here. Okay. TLT is the inverse of the 20-year yield. So if I expect the 20-year yields to come down, then uh, you would want to be long this. Tempest. Yes, I am looking to get long Tempest. This, by the way, is not a good looking candle, right? Look where we stopped. It's almost a 50%, less than a 50%. So I would say neither the Bears nor the Bulls won yesterday, right? And this was the break level. So we'll have to look and see if that's a trade that even works. I'm not in a huge rush. And part of it's going to be I'm looking at the after hours yesterday, closed at 81.22. So it was already up 70 cents. And so I think it's going to be tricky. I'll have to wait till the futures open Sunday night to see if how this price reacts. Yes? Okay. Let's take a look here. Silver. Finally, silver looks like it wants to take out 35.91. I did roll my silver positions. And so let's see. Um, let's take a look. Roblox. I took a lotto long on Roblox, and it was a lotto long based on it riding the 50-day moving average. And I'm trying something out. When I test new things out, I like to use real money. So I am long these Roblox. Let's see here, 135 calls. I'm down in them. I think like 30%. But yeah, PPTA. That's ugly. Here, take a look at this. Okay, it tried to break out. It tried to break out again. Look at this. That's not a good look. So, am I wanting to short? No, I'm not. But now I can't go long until we break 1871. That's what sucks about it. So, Nvidia. What do I see? Well, I see a low close doji. So you could get long here with target up here at one. Maybe I'll look at it, the NVDL, which is the ETF that is a multiple price move of NVIDIA. There we go. NVDL, which is the 2x long. If I come in here and look at, got to go to October's now. Forget about it. I'm not paying that much money for an option. Okay, let's take a look. Oh, the NASDAQ market. We looked at it. Doing fine. This is the level right here. Unless until we break that level, I have no concern. What do we have? We've got higher peaks and higher dips. Yes? Hey. Meta. Meta reversal. Yeah, this is valid. You've got about 40 points to the top side, so about 5% move. Do I have any desire? No, because meta options cost more than an arm and a leg, and I don't like Mark Zuckerberg. But if these were cheaper, I would. Yeah. Ethereum. Let's come back to Ethereum. I'm also in Celsius, and we took it on this break. So now all I'm doing is waiting. Here we go. I am just waiting now for this level to break out. My original stop was the low of this candle. It remains that. We closed above it, so I look fine. I'm getting freaking hosed and beyond. I screwed up. I did not sell it here. I've had multiple times. I've just completely screwed that up. So I'm gonna have to. I have to get rid of it. Or I'll have to take a look and see if I'm gonna roll or not. BMNR. Here we go. These are the levels. It's great. Had a nice day. As far as I'm concerned, it's done nothing. It's stopped going down. Now, show me that you want to go up. Then I'll get excited. Break 57.53. First break is this high, which is 55.30. Break these, and then we have an opportunity. Yes, this is longer term. Yes, I'm looking to buy. Where am I going to buy? Right here on this break. Right here or here. I have to decide which one breaks first. Okay. In fact, let's put an alert here. I will put an alert at a breaker above $55. There we are. And then I'll add. Let's go Bank of America. I am going to be adding to my Bank of America position that I've owned forever. I scaled on it, and I still own it. I was smart enough to buy leaps. Let me take a look at when I bought those things. Let's see here. There we go. I bought those in, there they are, January 6th of, I believe, this year. $55 calls. I've already scaled. I had a 6% position. I still have a 3%, and I'm going to be adding to these on this break. Okay. Or on this break here. Yep. So let's go back. Okay, so what am I looking at this week? Well, from the SPY, we need to break this top side, right? On the Qs, obviously, we need to break this top side. We're close. TNA looking good. I'll take that break to the top side. Let's look at NFX. Pretty impressed with NFX. The price action anyway. As I said, I dedicated the opening song to NFX because all I'm seeing is management selling their warrants. So let's make this really simple. It does not matter. Okay. There are two separate issues, but they're somewhat related. The fact that management is not converting when they could be converting their warrants, worse, they're selling them, tells me that they don't have the confidence to commit more of their own money. So, why would anybody commit more of their own money if management won't? That is an entirely separate issue, although somewhat related to whether or not there's a new announcement coming. I don't know, maybe they do. But if they have a new announcement coming and they expect the stock to move, wouldn't you convert? Honestly, wouldn't you convert? Now, from a management standpoint, if you have all those RSUs, maybe you don't want to convert. I could understand that. Okay. But it's a very, very bad look. It's even a worse look when they're selling the warrants. But at the end of the day, I don't think this company is that, NFX is not going to survive, or fail based on management, because if that were true, it would have already failed. So it's going to be based on their product, period. And I am short. I remain short. And, um, towards the end of the year, if we get closer, if the stock drifts down, then I might take a lotto to the long side. But I don't believe anything out of their mouth. Look, it's the same story. I've been saying this for almost 2 years now. For 2 years, I've been saying the same thing. I'm very irritated by it, but hey, hopefully they're able to call an early execution on those warrants or conversion on the warrants. I think they hose themselves. I think it's going to be very hard, even for the most passionate supporters, to justify why they should, support a company right now at this time. Okay. For those people, if I own the common, I'd sure as heck be looking to, try to reduce my risk in this. Whether that's writing calls, whatever it is. But to continue to own this, if you've owned it for years or months, and not take in the fact, this new data, that management did not convert, they sold. I don't know what clearer sign is needed in terms of, at the very least, any good news is not coming anytime soon. So let's look at EOSE. Oh my gosh, look at all these ridiculous lines I have here. So EOSE, well, that's valid. Okay. Stuck. Okay. That's it. Till we break out. And I don't want anything to do until we break out at least above 640, but probably I'm going to have to wait till we break, depending how this break happens, right? I'm going to have to wait till we break either 640, be aggressive and get in, or wait for this, be aggressive, or wait for this break. So it's going to, I do want to get longer. I'm only right now, currently, I think I'm only sitting at, yeah. I'm only right now at 16% in EOSE, because I did sell, and I sold 4% of my Ethereum position on Friday for plus 100%. And so I have 35% Ethereum, and I'll talk about that, why I remain so long Ethereum. So EOSE, I'm very encouraged. This is very nicely riding up. It's finding support. If I take a look at, if I throw my studies back on, one of the things I like to look at is looking at institutional buying, right? And institutional buying is on this indicator here. Red is buying and green is selling. Now, this is pretty easy to read. On this day, we had more red than green. But what I like to do is drill down to the 15 or the 5. And what that shows me is all day yesterday was institutional buying. And so this is, I think this was 100% algorithmic. I think any moves on Friday, any moves in any stocks should not be trusted because it was entirely algorithmic, meaning the algos got triggered by the indexes, by Powell, the dovish talk, whatever, and then it was auto buy. And then it just sort of, built on itself. That's why I want to see what happens on Monday. So Ethereum, yeah, Ethereum was tough last week. Look at Ethereum. We own Ethereum. I screwed up. I told my members I screwed up. I didn't scale, so I wasn't going to make that same mistake yesterday. So I've got Ethereum. It's breaking out. Am I going to look to get long? No, not yet. Break out of this high. This was a big ass candle, so I fully expect we could see a retrace down to here at 45.54. Yes? Yeah, Ethereum broke out, by the way. This was back on July 17th. They made a prediction that Ethereum would take out the all-time high by September 30th. Here we are. That was when Ethereum was what, 3,400, 3,300. Here we are, almost 40% higher, 50% higher, 40% higher. And we got in. Yeah, and we've done well, but except for this part where I failed. I did not take profits on this down dip here. I can show you on a better chart. Okay, there. I didn't take profits. I wasn't going to make that mistake again, though. And so I did scale out of some of my Ethereum, about 4%. I was up to about 39%. I sold 4%. So I'm still in it to 35%. Where do I think Ethereum is going? Well, I think we're only in the second or third inning. I remain long Ethereum because of Tom Lee and the Treasury, Ethereum Treasury Company. Also because there's starting to be a buzz of people that I know that I have respected in terms of Bitcoin and digital coin, and they're talking about, well, maybe I should go into Ethereum, and so I don't think that we've hit the high on Ethereum. I think that from my understanding, there remains a big call wall at 5,000. I think once we break that 5,000, yes, I see Tom Lee out there. I see Standard Charter talking about Ethereum going to 10,000, 15,000, 30,000, 20,000. I don't know. I will tell you this, that my intent will, be to remain long between 30 and 40% of my portfolio. Why? Think about this. I just took out a trade. I closed a trade. I was 4% of my total portfolio. I made 100 and whatever, 20% on it. Okay. And on an Ethereum contract and option contract. If that and increased my total by 4%. So if I'm at 40% of my total to Ethereum and I just do 100% of my options, I've increased my total portfolio by 40%. That's what my plan is. I think this is an opportunity. I'm not buying. I mean, I own the physical, but the digital, the actual. But this is, again, I'm expressing all this through through options contracts. So I think that Ethereum will go higher. I also see that there's already a demarcation happening. I think we're going to start seeing that demarcation between Bitcoin and Ethereum. The other one I'm in is Solana. Again, these are just trading. I'm just trading these. This is not me, saying I believe in these. Uh, I I don't know a hell of a lot about them. I just trade them due to the charts, but Solana certainly looks like we're due for a breakout too. So here's the thing: looking at the overall market, okay, the market got what it wanted, right? It got what it perceived to be dovish commentary. And I'm starting to see some commentary. Well, was it really as dovish as? Well, it was not hawkish. I think the focus is going to be now on, okay, NVIDIA earnings. If they can reassert that the AI, and by the way, all these so-called experts talking this horse shit that, oh my gosh, the AI boom is done. No, it's not. In fact, we have a member who is an expert in an AI and who did work for NVIDIA. And I asked him that question when people were making a big deal about Meta laying off a bunch of their AI senior. Well, my thing was I thought that maybe they probably companies have staffed up. Yeah. But I think his comment was, why the hell are they putting in 600 or whatever, 700 million into AI if they're cutting back? They're not. These companies are not cutting back. So I think it remains for us. I'm excited. Last week was a tough week from an emotional and psychological standpoint. We took a number of losses in a row. And, I know there was a temptation for people out there, for some of my members to just sort of, say, well, as Mr. CeeLo Green said in the song, but they didn't, and they held, and they felt a lot better after they heard Jay Powell talk. Look, yeah, of course, you're always going to feel emotion when you trade and when you invest. But I think the difference, well, I know the difference is that my team members, they have a plan, right? They have a plan. They have a group of other people around them, other team members that will encourage them to stick with that plan. And so, yeah, I think that overall market bullish. I would expect some level of a pullback. If you look at the S&P 500, that orange line is the -1 SD, and that's what it's been bouncing off of, right? How high could this go? Well, if we look at here, this could get as high as 655. That'd be a new high. Looking at the Qs, same thing. Okay. Bouncing off this -1 SD line, right? How high could we go? Well, pushes up against this one. We could be up at 590 to 600. You know, that's a 7% move, 6% move. Pretty significant. Ethereum, how high could we go? Oh, well, I have a rule. When an asset breaks an all-time high, or a 52-week high for the first time, okay, not subsequent breaks, but for the first time, then you got a 90% chance of going 50% higher. Yeah. So, how high do I think this move can go? You know what? I'm not a digital guy. I think we're going to break through 5,000 next week. And if this catches the right type of what I think it's going to catch, I think we could be at 10,000 by the end of 2025. If this catches fire, absolutely. My prediction on EOSE remains the same. Been keeping up on great work with some of our Twitter fellows. Have been watching the felt deliveries, and I think ENVX, any pop, I will sell into. So there we have it. Oh, and beyond, I remain short. I'm getting my face ripped off on it, but I do have this mean, which is where it's been holding. So hopefully it'll get back down here. Maybe I'll roll them. Beyond is going to open more stores. They're going to stay out of California, and I guess they're going to go back to selling towels and shit. I have, why anybody put money with the company? There's 11,000 stocks listed. There's about 8,000 that are optionable, and there's 500 on the S&P 500. So you could just stick with the S&P 500 or the Dow 30. I mean, why invest in companies, or why put your money at a longer term risk in companies where, I don't know, they don't tell you the truth. Their interests are not aligned with yours. Or in the case of Beyond, they have no idea what they're doing. I mean, how many different business models so, and if you listen to this, you go, oh, well, you just hate Marcos Lemonis. I don't even know the guy. I'm just saying, I've got a lot of members who were in Beyond, got hurt, and they're not getting hurt anymore. And so I think there's just better opportunities for risk money. They could make it. Anybody can make it, right? For the love of God, AMC stayed in business. I don't know how they're doing, or GameStop. So, all right, I think next week's going to be a really interesting week with NVIDIA earnings coming out. Also, we're still in the lulls of the summer. We had big volumes on Friday, but we're still in the summer doldrums, which means that the desks, the pros are on vacation, the juniors are in there, and really Labor Day is the start of the rest of the trading year. So I think that next week I would like to see the bull trend in both the overall market as well as Ethereum reassert itself, or Ethereum just continue to assert itself. I'll use any pullbacks to add to my BMNR, my Bitcoin Tom Lee position, and I intend to get long a bunch of stocks on Monday via options. So I remain right now at 67% total allocated. I've got Ethereum is right now at 35%. EOSE is only at 16%. These are my current open positions. Yeah, I'm fine. I rolled all my August before. A lot of these are leaps, and some of these I'll take a hit on, but like these Bank of America ones, I'm going to add to on Monday. That's like the no-brainer. No-brainer. So, all right. I hope you have just a fantastic weekend. Yeah. Oh, don't forget, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me. I am at theboss@mrnodadvice.com. And if you're not in my Discord, please come join, and I think you'll have a wonderful time. So, all right. Have a great weekend.
Trying to keep ya, trying to please ya. Just being in love with your ass ain't cheap. Nah, I picture the fool that falls in love with you. Oops, she's a gold digger. Well, just spoke to she know. Ooh, I've got some news for you. Ooh, I really hate your ass right now. See